Hi, welcome to the Andrew video tutorial on Illustrator and the eraser tool. Now this is very similar to the path eraser tool. In fact, there's some similarities definitely. However, let's just go through it. This mainly works with both, of course, with fills as well as strokes. And you can use this in 221, 220, etc. Now what you can do, where is it? That's the key thing, of course. Here's the eraser tool. Here's the eraser tool, just there. You've got scissor tool and knife. They're very similar as well. Similar sort of things. What you can do, press return or double click. You can bring up these various things. Now there's randomization as well as this angle. Personally, most time, 90% of the time, I very rarely use this feature where you can sort of change the angle, change around this and all those sorts of things. I mean, it does create some interesting sort of calligraphic sort of styles of going through. But 99% of the time, I use the size. So I just go for the size setting and you can just see the size there. And you can also, you've got randomization, pressure and all those sort of things. So you can, so if you set it to 21 and you put random, you can only put it up to 21 as the randomization. Not certain why, but anyway, personally it should be 50, you should be able to go up to 21 as the core, up to 70 or whatever, makes no difference. So you can just set that, but I normally keep it, to be honest, most time, because it's applied once. So click OK. So if I apply it, when I do any randomization, that's applied just that one time. It doesn't random the actual stroke. It's just purely the size. Will go from like 15 to 14 or 15 to 12, those sort of things. But you can apply it through the design there. Let's just reduce down the size a bit so you can see it a bit better. So that's what it does, just cuts through design. It could be any design, it could be any shape. It could be, doesn't work with type unless you convert it. So there's the rectangle tool. Let's just quickly go through that one. So with that, you can go to the eraser and you can not hold the shift key down and you can just draw like that, just random doodles over the design if you want, or you can just go like that, cut it apart that way, and they're all separate paths. So you can select that part in and select that part, so you can move it. You can also, if you want, go over here and hold down the shift. So you end up holding the shift, it goes a straight line. Sometimes it randomly makes it 45 degrees, but most time it is a straight line, straight down or whatever, or you can do a straight cross. So hold the shift down. Now sometimes you see, I've held the shift down, it goes that way. Most times you get it's horizontal or vertical, which is what I want, but sometimes it just randomly decides, no, I'm going to go at 45 degrees. But what you got here, you've got the multiple paths. They're all paths, which is like a grid. You can also select all of them, of course, and you can go and set maybe different size there. You can create some random designs there, and you can change colour as well. So if you want, you don't want black there, you want yellow. So they're all separate now. And of course, what you can also do, because they're separate, you can go to transform each. So that's transform there, transform each. They're all separate entities. You can then apply transform each to them, random there. So you've got this random set there, and you can just apply them. And then, of course, what you can do, you've clicked OK, obviously it's moved, scaled and all that. You can still go to the eraser tool again, and you can cut through them again if you want. So you can cut through and create multiple cuts to fragment the designs. And of course, let's just resize it a bit, because that's quite big, 21, 13, so go for a bit smaller. And you can see you can create a lot of paths, which again, if you want, you can go back, select them all selected, you can go to object, transform each, and then you can apply that. So you can see you can randomize it and those sort of things as well. So let's select a different design. Let's just go for, say, ellipse. So you've got ellipse there. What you can do, you can use it with appearances. So if you've got, here's the key panel menu. So window, appearance, got colour, brushes, all those sort of things, and you can see some of their layers, etc. Well, what you can do with appearance, window appearance, yeah, it should be on there somewhere. Oh, there it is, tucked away behind there. What you can do, select there, and you can duplicate that item. Now, you've got two now. This is the bottom one. There's two strokes added to that. Both are the same colour, so you can't see obviously any difference. You can set the size, so say 40, just so you can see it really clearly. And you can also set the colour, so black. So you get a nice, so but what you can do, you can go over to the erase tool again, and you can erase, and you can actually see you can cut through into design, and that will still obey the design. And also you can go all the way through it. So let's just go, ooh, that didn't look very good. So you can cut through and you've got two parts and you've got your design a sort of split in two. So that's quite a quick way of cutting a part in half. So let's just select this one. Let's go back to the rectangle. Well, maybe line. Let's just go to line. You can use it with lines as well. So there's just a line like that. What you can do, go to the eraser tool and you can just cut through. And you can see it's a bit similar to the path eraser tool, which is over here. Path eraser tool does exactly the same thing. You can cut through. Oops. There's that tool there. So then you can cut through and you can split your paths. And of course, once you've done that, you can see their individual paths. And then you can go there and you can recolour the stroke simply by doing that. Or up here as well. Select it there if you want to and change colour. So you can see you can create a nice line design. You can also select all of those. You can go over here to the width profiles. So you can select the width profiles and create different profiles. Designs there using those. Simple as that, just a nice arrow design going down. So you can create a quick arrow design simply by doing that. Also what you can do, you've got brushes as well. So if you want to, you can add brushes to the thing. So you've got brush design there. You can see there, you've got 1 point. Let's put that a bit bigger. They're all brush strokes, which of course can be changed. You've got brushes panel. You can go and select a whole range of different brushes, bring in loads of different libraries of brushes, and they can all be joined and manipulated using that eraser tool as well. We can also use the eraser, and it's this with like the curvature tool. Let's go to the curvature tool. So you can go to the curvature tool, and I'm just going to quickly add a design here. And now I'm not going to close it. It doesn't matter if I close it or not. Just leave it as open. They're not touching there. What you can do, go to the eraser, and again you can cut through. So you can use that just to quickly, and you can also cut through on the other side as well. So you can break it apart very quickly. And again, select all of the parts. They're all selected by select all here. Then you can go again to this option over here and maybe use a select a width profile. And you can create that. And what you can do, of course, you've got the width profile tool here. There's the width tool, I should say. And you can then manipulate each of these individual designs. So the other one will not, any of these others won't be affected now. They're not connected. So you can create some very abstract designs like that. Remove that. Ellipse tool. And you've got, now what you can also do, you can use this feature with like the repeat feature. So I'm just going to select this design there and then simply just go to object and repeat radial. So I've just created a nice radial design there. You can double click into this design and then you can just resize that. I'm just going to resize it quickly. But what you can do, you can use the eraser tool as well. Let's just go change colour because obviously it's nice to, so you can see some colour there. Eraser tool, and then you can just, if it selects it, sometimes it doesn't. You know, when you select something, sometimes you think, I'm certain I selected it. Nope, didn't think. You can erase it, and every one of those erases will be on the other side. And again, if you want to, of course, let's just undo those. You can always vary it. Press return. And you can set the size. You can change the stroke, so maybe 15. And so on. Eraser tool again, and you can cut through and you can see the design. And again, because of that, they're all individual parts. So you can select there and you can go up to here, maybe change the colour. Select that one and go for green. Green. And so on and so on. And of course what you can do, you can come out. As soon as you come out, of course, you can manipulate the curve again, and then you can manipulate that as well, and so on and so on. And, well, I think that's hopefully a reasonable run through of quite a lot of the functionality. Though, I guess, let's just finish off with type. Just suddenly thought of type. I haven't done type. So there's type, and of course, what you can do, eraser tool, no, doesn't work. Not very helpful. Well, what you can do, you can go to Object and Expand, and cross fingers it does work after expanding it. I've done it a few times where suddenly you think, doesn't seem to, there still seems to be issues. However, there is, so you've got all of the things there, the points, And what you can do, you can go through it with the eraser. Just cut through. Now, what you can do, if you want to make nice stripy sort of lines, you can just quickly go back over to there, double click and bring up down the size. So let's push it down to say 2 to make it fairly thin. So you can, what you can do, just go above and hold shift down again and you can cut through. So you can just quickly cut through. So you can, again, goes at 45 degrees, just random times, just suddenly thinks, you know what, I guess when you, but I don't know, I always feel I'm going straight down, but it decides to think, no, I'm going to go at 45 degrees, like that. And you can cut through your type. Actually, I've just suddenly thought of another one. Anyway, so you've got your type. What you can do, of course, these are all individual. So object, ungroup. You can then select that and change colour. Not that colour, I want to change that colour. You can change the colour, obviously, of the type. So you can create some interesting type designs using that. What you can also do, just suddenly thought of one, you've got your design here, and you can simply, mottle the design. Now let's just, again, eraser tool, there's the eraser tool, select that, press return. Now obviously at 2 points it's not going to be very obviously visible, so let's put it to 41, 43 and click there. You can see, you can quickly create a nice sort of mottled cheese. Say if you've got some cheese, there are some cheese there. So you can create a nice mottled cheese design. Well, in that case, what you can do, of course, you can go to 3D extrude and bevel, and you've got a nice mottled cheese there. Now you can also add other effects, of course. You can distort it, and you can also, let's just move that out of the way, you can use, say, rectangle tool with rectangle, and you create a nice sort of frame. Though maybe some people don't think it's particularly a great one, but let's just quickly select it, eraser tool, and you can click on there, and you can see you can create a nice sort of very quick, and obviously you can vary the size, but you've got a nice frame design there. So let's put a quick design at the back, arrange, send to back, change the colour. And you can see you've got a nice design, or you could have obviously an image, whatever, pattern, etc. All those sort of things, swatches. And that's another thing you could do, of course. You've got gradients and so on. So you could select gradient there, swatches, window, swatches, the swatches there. And you've got gradients. Oh, patterns, of course. Doesn't have to be. Now, I haven't got many patterns here, so I've just got, say, select that one. Use the eraser tool for that one. You can actually cut in there, and you've got different designs, obviously, which can have different patterns on. If I had multiple patterns, I would have, but let's go for gradient instead. So I can select that gradient, and select that gradient. So you can create an interesting combination design. Of course, once you've split them apart, you can always drag them over like that. And then you can, of course, select all of them. And then you can go to opacity, and you can go to blending mode, darken, and color dodge, and so on and so on. So you can create some very abstract designs that way. Oops, double select that, let's move that out of the way. Now what you can also do, of course, you've got this design. You can use, again, the eraser to cut through that and make even more designs. So just cut through that way, and you can see what you got. You've got another set of paths here. Now you might have to ungroup. Nope. I don't know why that's there. Okay. What you can do, you've got this design, and you can use, of course, good old object and repeat radial with that, and you can create some very abstract designs because, of course, you've got all the blending modes there with the stroke as well as that design, and you can then blend this in like that. Annoyingly, I've got that cheese there. A number of instances. Actually, let's just get rid of that. Let's just go out of that. Just remove that quickly. I don't need the cheese. Of course, again, you can always just double click and you can edit that design. You can edit any of the slices and go down to there. And you can, again, use the eraser tool and you can modify that. And that will be modified across all of the different designs. So if you want to, let's just go that fragment there. And you can see as you do that, you can drag that out, maybe. So you can select that. And again, eraser tool, and you can just, not that big, let's just reduce the size a bit. And 19. And you can see, you can create that. And then you can see the design gets applied. And they're all, again, got their blending modes. which of course you can then put on top there. You can stretch that out, select that one, and you can create some really weird and wonderful designs, maybe with a bit of care, of course. I think it would actually look quite a nice design, but obviously it's a bit of a messy design, I have to say, at the end of the day. But of course, what you can do, you can always go to effects. You've got various effects here. You could even do 3D. I'm not certain that would work, actually. It might be interesting to see if it did, but I think it would take a bit of processing power. But what you can do, of course, and I'm just going to finish off now because otherwise I will just go on. Got symbols. What you can do, you can make it a symbol. I love symbols, and it accepts it. Whoa! So that's accepted. That's a symbol. Now, what is a symbol over there? Of course, you can use a symbol sprayer. So new symbol, and you can apply your symbol design, which becomes even more garish. Okay. Right. Well, I think that's a good point to end the tutorial. Hope you found this video of interest. Always adding new tutorials all the time about Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity Photo, and many, many other applications. Also, please subscribe to the Graphic Extras channel. Adding videos virtually every day. Also, website www.graphicextras.com. Got loads and loads of tutorials on all kinds of subjects, Photoshop, obviously Illustrator, and many, many others. And I often add a lot more detail than sometimes I put in the videos. One, because often I suddenly think of them afterwards, so I put them on my website, so I explain a little bit of detail, giving more sort of images, pictures, etc., showing how to do these various things. Also, I've got lots of video links to all my other videos as well. If you've got any comments, please put them. Always appreciate it. Sort of anything that I've done wrong or anything I've done right, please let me know. Always great to hear. Also, a dislike or like. Either way, always appreciated. Thank you much.